Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. It's time for our cash tag segment. For that, let's bring in Landon Swan. He's a co-founder at Likefolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Thank you, Tom. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. So Dollar Tree reported earnings this morning. Pretty good results for a stock that's been beaten up. And Dollar General, same thing, down about 41% so far this year. It seems like, in an inflationary environment, the consumer would probably go to these dollar stores. But, they're performing horribly. Five Below reports earnings also. That stock's down over 50% this year. What's going on here, Landon?
Yeah, I tell you what, most of the stock decline, at least for Dollar General, happened in 24 hours. If you look at that last report, they went from basically $125 to $84 just on their last earnings report. And now, since then they've traded basically sideways, a little bit down, and they're at 80 right now. So they just got crushed. And so again, most of the decline was on that one report, and I think a lot of it has to do with just, I guess, the state of the economy and the state of their world of the economy, right? If you think about their customers, 60% of their customers are what you call low income, under $35,000 per year. And they're really getting affected by inflation. They're prioritizing things like food and essentials over discretionary items, which are much higher margin. So, Dollar General is getting the low margin sales that, they're not getting the high margin sales anymore. And of course, middle and upper income are not really going to Dollar General. They're just not. They are trying to save money in different ways, but they're not there yet. So they're going, they're trading down on eating out. They're cooking more at home. Maybe they're going to Walmart instead of Target or something like that, but they're not going to Dollar General yet. So Dollar General's in a bit of a tough spot. And, another thing that really doesn't help them is all this tariff talk. When you go back to 2018, we had some tariffs introduced. Dollar Tree, their competitor, who sells a lot or most everything at $1, increased their prices to $1.25 because of those tariffs. And so if Trump's going to implement a lot more tariffs, they do rely on a lot of low-cost imports. And so Dollar General is going to be squeezed by that as well. So, that's a concern. One more concern, I hate to pile on, but, Temu has been just kind of kicking their butt. In the 2 years that since Temu's launched, Dollar General's share of the discount sales in the U.S. dropped from, I believe, 63 down to 52, if I got my numbers correct, somewhere in there. It's a significant decline. So Temu's taken away from them. Now, when you look at, what's the upside here? First of all, obviously they're aware of all these problems, and they're actually putting a lot of emphasis on their website, and they've done a decent job. They've got they've got website digital presence up about 3% on a year-over-year basis. It's not great, but when you compare to the competition, they're outpacing Dollar Tree and Five Below. But again, 3% is nothing to jump up and down about, but at least it's not negative. They're doing something positive. They've got a partnership with Elf Beauty, and that's Elf's top tier products. It's not a size down or discount version. So they're trying to bring up, I guess, the view of what the company can offer with that partnership. So I think that's a positive step. And also one other thing that they're doing that I kind of like personally is they've actually printed a holiday catalog that you can hold in your hand, sit at home and thumb through and look at, discounted toys and holiday shopping things, cheap toys under $10, things like that. They've also got a digital version online. So, they're making attempts, but a lot of what the structure of their company and their customer base is really just, they're kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time right now. And the stock is priced appropriately for what's been going on in their world.
Yeah, Landon, $1.25 General doesn't sound very sexy, does it? It's hard to really change that moniker, but this is a company that profit margins are falling. Management came in and lowered their full year guidance. They started a back to basics strategy where they're trying to make the overall experience better. Lower interest rates might help some of their customers, some of the pressure off their customers. Inflation has hurt their customers. I think Walmart may have hurt their customers. Are we throwing this group into the same product as Target and some of these other small retailers that can't compete with the Walmarts and the Amazons of the world, Landon? Is this another fatality in Amazon Walmart's world?
I'm not going to call them out just yet. I think they've got a chance. That the number of locations and the number of people that are within, like, I forget the stat, but it's an incredible percentage of people that are within X miles of a Dollar General. I mean, they have stores all over, and so I think that if they can get back to basics, like you said, and just get that consumer experience just a little bit better, and hopefully the economy turns. Unfortunately, that's what they need, and they can't control that. I mean, generally speaking, if you'd have told me 5 or 10 years ago, hey, the economy is going to see some inflation, lower income people are going to be squeezed a little bit, I'd say, oh, I bet Dollar General does really well during that time, right? But that's not the case, and it's because of, again, they're prioritizing the things that are low margin, because that's what those consumers have to do. It makes sense. So I think that they've got to have a turn in the economy, and they got to do some stuff with the stores. I mean, we have seen some consumer happiness dings on just when and people post pictures online about the disorganization and just it's not an appealing store to walk into. And you contrast that with some of the moves that, for example, Walmart has made. That used to be kind of a meme, is how Walmart just doesn't feel very classy, for lack of a better word. But they've completely transformed, and they're now they're competing with Target when it comes to just consumer experience. So you got to up your game, and then you got to just cross your fingers on the economy turning around. I would not say that they're out, because they have the distribution, they have the ability for everybody to just go down the street and pick up some groceries and some consumables, things like that. But there's some things that are out of their control that they just got to cross fingers on.
Yeah, they've got over 20,000 stores. Walmart in the U.S. only has about 4,800 stores. So, yeah, they've got the footprint here, Landon. But at the same time, you mentioned Temu and Shein. I mean, they've got record sales, or people are buying this stuff off of TikTok videos and stuff like that. Is that part of the problem, where it's the consumer that's making different choices? And we've seen that bifurcation in the overall, retail space at this point.
It is. I think a lot of the more discretionary spend is coming online, and so Dollar General, again, they've got the essentials, and they're all their stores are very close to you, and if that's what they're going to go with, great, go with that and stick with that. But they're losing out on a lot of the discretionary spending, which I think is moving online. That's why Temu's doing so well. I think that's why Amazon is doing so well, and that Temu you can compete with. Amazon, wow, that's a tough one. I mean, they can get something to your house in a couple of hours, and it's it's one of the best prices out there. So between Amazon and Walmart and Temu, it's going to be tough to compete on those discretionary items. I think they have to, though. That's the problem. They have to. They can't just thrive on essentials, on the low margin essentials, because if they try to squeeze more margin out of that, all of a sudden their entire sales case is gone. They're supposed to be cheap for the things that you need, but they've got to find a way to compete on discretionary as well.
Yep, expecting about an $8.50 move either way. I mean, that's hefty on a percentage basis, Landon. What's your earnings score on this one?
You know what? We're actually at a +5, basically neutral, and it's because the stock has been decimated. I mean, all the bad news that I've given you is essentially known, and other than Dollar Tree reporting, decent sales this quarter, maybe that'll hopefully shade over into Dollar General. But again, that's known as well. So, if this stock had it's still been in the 100 range, we'd have a pretty negative score on it. But because it's sold off so much, we're not ready to count to 10 and call it dead. But I think that there's just so much negativity baked into this that, it's probably, I'd be more of a premium seller on it than anything on this trade. But I wouldn't want to be long term. Yeah, we're just at +5 neutral, basically saying we think the market's got it priced pretty correctly given how bad things are going there.
All right, great breakdown for us, Landon. Have a great day.